I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf, I ain't got.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yes, and unlike Jim Mora, I do not hope we can win a game. But we will get into that. How's everything going, people? We're gonna give it a few minutes, get a couple more people in here, and then we're gonna get the party started. I promise you, it's gonna be a great one today. Except for with Titans fans because they are not having a good day. Well, I mean, if according to them, they're having a good day, even though they're not having a good day. But we're gonna get into that later on. In the meanwhile, make sure that you are like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Make sure that you're doing so. Let us know where you're calling from, or we're not calling from, where you're commenting from. Let us know your team. Let us know everything. But yeah, so we'll go ahead. We'll get a couple more people in here, and then we're going to get started with the festivities. Okay? We're feeling very giving, so we're going to be giving a lot of presents in the form of verbally lambasting teams that aren't the Colts. So yes, so be prepared. In the meantime, guys, how are we feeling? How are we feeling so far?
I'm all right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm all right.
How's the mood in Tennessee right now?
Huh?
Tennessee right now. Oh no, I said, how's the mood in Tennessee right now? Like, is it good? You know.
I mean, I haven't really been around a lot of people. My brother's a Titans fan. He's happy that they fired him, but I don't know.
But is your brother one of those fans that said John Robinson was the best GM in the South or in the AFC South?
He's never said anything like that.
Also, he's more with John Ha then. He's like more of a John Ha type. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay. All right. You know what? Your brother is just like he seems like a swell guy if he's willing to be realistic like that. So
you don't get that often.
No, you don't. You really don't. So that's why I applaud him for being a stand-up guy.
Yeah, we can actually have conversations about football without dumb stuff being said.
Who the oldest?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's scared of you then.
Also, he's younger than you, and he's actually saying good things. Okay, I see you. I see you out there, player. But all right.
We need everybody to check in. This is going to be a hot episode. Everybody check in. Where we at now, Chris? Where we at now with everybody checking in yet?
We're gonna get started. We're gonna get started because I want us to get started ASAP because I don't want to hold off on this anymore. All right. I'm gonna make sure that
Hey Matt. You lost to a pedophile.
Dang.
Pedophile that hasn't played football in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he played trades and still beat y'all.
I mean, listen, at this point, we know what we are. Do you know what you are other than tanking? Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know that you're tanking. But that's neither here nor there. And then we have John Ha saying, keep my name out your mouth, Josh Sr.
I haven't said anything.
Not yet, at least.
I haven't mentioned anybody. I haven't mentioned Ricky's name since yesterday. And I've been doing good.
Okay.
I'm chilling like my avatar picture right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what? That's fine. You can go ahead and chill. And by the way, that was if we did, it wasn't good words. Let's just make that clear right now. So yeah, good job, guys. But yeah, so in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get started by saying welcome back everybody to the You Know Jack podcast, where we're gonna be discussing everything Colts, and then of course some slander of some other teams, focusing specifically on the slander of the Titans today. So yeah, we're gonna do that. In the meantime, though, I can't go forward without go ahead and shouting out the guys. So with us, we have Austin Cook, everybody.
What's up? I'm Austin.
Yes, and according to Forsberg, he says that you don't have anything to contribute, but I say otherwise, Austin. Okay, you remember you contribute. Okay,
I know. I don't listen to anything he says.
yeah, and then we have with us the eye of Ricky Fuquay's ire. Let's just say we have Josh Senior. Everybody,
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This has been a crazy few weeks. One guy want me banned for 30 days. Now a guy want me
30
to keep
days.
his. Yeah, he said he mentioned he want me to be banned 30. He said he reported me because he want me banned for 30 days because he don't want me to talk on a group anymore. In a group anymore. And now you got Ricky made a pending post that was approved telling me to keep his damn name out my mouth.
I'm not sure who approved that. If I did, I regret nothing because that was very interesting to see that exchange.
I never seen anything like that in my whole entire life that somebody would say post on social media about somebody else. I thought it was like 22 I thought it was like 2009, 2010 type of shit, not no 2020 type things, but go ahead, Ricky, do your thing. Then you blocked me after you was talking big shit, so that's kind of
And
cool.
he blocked you?
Yes.
It's kind of trash. Kind of trash, not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, honestly, it's just like I wouldn't personally do that, but I mean, people ain't built like me and you or like us. Like people ain't built like this, okay? Because anything that we talk about on here, we for sure are gonna go ahead and back it up. But you know what? Let's back it up because we do need to make sure that we talk about Manscaped, right? Because I mean, it's Christmas, okay? And if you know what, man, if you don't know what you want, tell your ladies, I need something from Manscaped, okay? I need to have my jingle bells in order. All right. And by jingle bells, you know what I mean. Okay. You know the talk. Make sure that when you go to Manscaped, you use promo code FANBATTLE. It's no spaces, all one word, all caps, and make sure that when you use that, feeling generous. We're not doing 20% off, okay? We're doing 25, which means that we're just going to take a whole entire quarter off of that for you, and you still get the free shipping. So make sure that you should use promo code FANBATTLE and get those discounts, get that free shipping, get those gift ideas going, okay?
And one thing, make sure you don't let Gary Jones order for you.
Sir, we're not going there tonight. This is not happening tonight. But you know where we are going? We are going to the great city of Nashville, where apparently John Robinson is at a bar. You don't know why he's at a bar? Because he's not at the Titans facility because he got fired.
I thought he was meeting up with Urban Meyer.
Hey, listen, at this point, better be careful because he might be on the prowl since he has nothing else better to do at this time today. But yeah, John Robinson fired. React.
Fired. And I read on that. If you want one of us to, expand on it, I read on it that he was termed because of the trade of AJ. He didn't inform his boss, Amy Adams. I don't know her married name, but Adams. I'm gonna call
Oh,
her Adams.
AB Adams C shrunk or something. I think maybe.
C Funk, C Fuck. I don't care. Um,
Hey, whoa! It's a family podcast. Relax. All right, relax. You're getting crazy, Bucko.
I got to let it all it out, man. Let it out. Today has been a great day. It's been a great day for me, man. I couldn't wait to get on here to express how I feel about today. You asked me how my day was, so this is what I'm doing
Yes.
to show it.
And you know what? I'm completely okay with that because today was a great day for everybody that's not a Titans fan. Um, because the thing is, it's like, how do you fire what Titans fans have deemed the best GM in the AFC South?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like supposedly he's better than Nick Caserio. He's better than that terrible GM in Jacksonville. They said that he's better than Chris Ballard, and yet he's fired.
And all of them got their
Like,
job still.
yeah, and you know what? Let's. I'm gonna be serious for a second. So let me. How can you justify everything that's happened up until now, and yet the AJ Brown trade is all of a sudden the straw that broke the camel's back, when you know for a fact that happened? What? That happened 8 months
On
ago.
draft day. Yeah.
So it took you 8 months to realize that was a bad move amongst all the rest of the bad moves that we had seen. Like, I mean,
Letting Corey Davis go.
letting Corey Davis go. Matter of fact, if we're looking at it, the only draft picks that have been a hit is pretty much Jeffrey Simmons.
No, Derrick Henry, because he drafted him too.
Derrick Henry.
Pretty good.
So Derrick Henry, Harold Landry,
Harold
and
Landry, he only had one good year.
yeah, well, I mean, of course, that was his contract year. That's usually when people have good years. But you have Derrick Henry, Harold Landry, and Jeffrey Simmons. Now, mind you, that's also with the
Bayer.
fact that not
I'm trying
sure.
to. I can't remember. But yeah, 3 so far.
But the crazy thing is that you had all those picks. But in the last 3 years alone, you had Isaiah Wilson, Caleb Farley, who's looking to possibly be a bust because I think he's hurt once again. You're also
Yeah, for the year.
you also have Dylan Redunz. So Dylan Redunz now is also looking like he might be in that bust territory because of the fact that it's just like he's not performing, and then even when he is performing, or when he isn't performing because he's been hurt, and he actually, when he's on the field, he's not playing that well. So the thing is,
yeah, you didn't mention the Marcus Mariota, the Adoree Jackson, the Rashad Evans, those picks that were they didn't finish their contract. They didn't have a second contract year with them.
yeah. And I think that's all the more reason why, if you're looking at the total body of work when it came to what the Titans were doing, I think what gets wrapped up in all this John Robinson talk is the fact that they've been semi-successful. Now, have they been successful over the last few years? No. I mean, I've said it to numerous Titans fans, and I'll continue to say it. They peaked when they went to the AFC South Championship.
Oh yeah,
because they had that great year with Ryan Tannehill coming off the bench, but then also it was kind of masked by the fact that Derrick Henry had an outstanding year, and then the following year, Derrick Henry runs for 2,000, which he ultimately needed to do. They get knocked off in the wild card round, and then you have last year where they once again they had a good enough year for them to be the number one seed in the AFC, and then they get lambasted by the Bengals. And even this year, they're probably the worst 7-5, 7-6 team that we've seen in a while, because of the fact that if you're looking at how that team is, or where that team is now, That team is 7-6 without having ever beat any team that's actually currently in the playoff picture. Not in the hunt. I'm talking about in the playoff picture, seeds 1 through 7, because they have not beat any of them. They had a picture the other day that
They
said
keep trying to say the Washington Commanders is their signature win because they had a winning record.
but the thing is, it's not because Taylor Heineke has single handedly turned that team around right now at quarterback.
Mm.
When Carson Wentz was at quarterback, that team was 2-4. So I mean, I don't want to hear, oh yeah, well there's like he was the reason why he did this and he did that. No, that's not what happened. What actually happened was the fact that Carson Wentz was not doing good. Carson Wentz got hurt. Taylor Heineke was doing better than Carson Wentz, and they're rolling the dice with Taylor Heineke. Carson Wentz is just standing on the sideline, looking at holding a clipboard, getting us a third round pick because it's not going to be a second round pick since he's not playing. So if we're looking at what that team is, no, it's day and night. Just imagine if Sam Ehlinger, after Matt Ryan had those things, imagine if he wins every single game, looking the way that he is now, then we'd be saying, okay, Matt Ryan's done, so we don't have to talk about this anymore. But that's not the case.
Right.
So I mean, if we're talking about John Robinson, we talk about everything that he's done this now or up till now, it hasn't been enough. They've ran with Derrick Henry. They've done what they can do. Now Derrick Henry isn't working, and now you see that the offense isn't working. And now,
what did we say about that? What did we say about them? How they handle Derrick Henry in his attempts?
There's no reason why. I think what was the stats for Derrick Henry? I completely forget.
Sunday?
What was it? Yeah,
11 for 30.
11 for 30. So mind you, it's like that's basically like an all-time low in terms of how you're looking to score. And the problem is that Derrick Henry is not going to get those touches because guess what? You can't give the ball to the running back to potentially try to get him to get you back into the game, knowing that you're not going to have the clock on your side. I mean, the Tennessee scored 10 points in the first half and then never scored again. And that's when they were already down 21-10.
Correct.
And then they realize when A.J. Brown goes off for 8 receptions for 119 yards and 2 TDs, that all of a sudden it's just like, oh no, you made a bad choice. It was a bad choice to do it in the first place because nothing about Treylon Burks said that he was going to be that guy.
They're trying to go off potential, but you can't go off potential. It would be like this, like how we did with Payman and Andrew Luck. But we had the first overall pick, so we was kind of like, shit, like we got to do this. We got to.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, we knew exactly what it was going to be. We knew exactly what was going to happen. But the thing is, that's what it is. But here's something that's even more damning. A.J. Brown was under 1,000 yards last year, right? He's under 1,000 yards last year. And Titans fans were they were like, no, he's inconsistent. He has drops. He has this, that, and the other. A.J. Brown right now on 96 targets has 61 receptions and 950 yards receiving.
What?
950 yards receiving, which means that he's probably going to be upwards of – he could possibly get to about the 1,500 range, which is the most receptions or which is the most yardage that he'll have in his career. So you mean to tell me that you gave up on a guy who was their best receiver probably in their franchise history for that, and you mean to tell me like that was a good trade? No, because and they defended that. They were defending that. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh yeah, they're gonna be good, they're gonna be all right, like we didn't need him, this, that, and the other. It's just like because he went over to the Eagles and he's the number one option. Not only that, but the thing is, this is also a team now that's what, 11-1?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. We're not doing this anymore. Like we're not going to be doing any more of this whole. We're not going to be doing that. John Robinson was not the best GM in the AFC South. John Robinson basically was able to just ride high with the bare minimum and Now he's out. So good
Remind
luck.
you that they was bragging about being 97 for like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but now it's going to be an uphill battle because oh yeah, you go ahead and you fire him mid-season, but now what are you going to do? Like what's going to happen? Like how are you going to plan on, making this just more attractive? And the thing is you really can't because now you have to look forward to making it so that you have to get the right pieces in place because right now they're going to go and do everything that they possibly can to try to make it seem as though they don't need him or they don't need this type of help moving forward. But it's because of the current state of the team that it looks like that. If we were it's crazy because even with Tennessee being where they are right now, Tennessee has a few more games to go until the season is over. If this team was actually not a complete dumpster fire, and I'm talking about the Colts, if the Colts were actually not a complete dumpster fire right now, we'd still have a very realistic shot of being able to go ahead and get into the playoffs. But it's just like, why even do that? Like there's no point. So no, it,
Well, I
it
think
doesn't make sense.
the Jags might could catch the Titans. They still play them twice.
Yeah, yeah, they do. And I mean, it like I said, history isn't necessarily on the Jag side, but I think when it comes down to it, it really like it doesn't have to be. Like history doesn't have to be on the Jag side at all because we know exactly what we're going to be looking for, what we're going to be doing. So I don't I don't foresee that there's actually going to be anything that's going to show that the Titans are going to be any different after John Robinson being fired than they have previously. I mean, it is what it is on that. So, but enough of that. We don't need to talk about the Titans in their first round exit because I mean, at this point, it's going to be a first round exit. I think they had a graphic of like the Bengals, Chiefs, Titans, and the Bengals, Chiefs, the Bills, and Titans, and they said which team I think either which is the worst team pictured here, and it was clearly the Titans because the Titans were the only team on that whole entire picture that had not beat any of the teams in the whole entire picture.
It's terrible,
But
man.
oh yeah, no, it's awful. It's awful. But you know what? Let's go to some more uplifting news about us. Shaq Leonard is the Walter Payton Man of the Year award candidate. How are we
Yes, sir.
feeling about that? How are we feeling about that?
I mean, that's a good thing. When he's not on the field, even when he's on the field, he's doing a lot in the community. He has some like Maniac Foundation that he has had for a few years now. So it's good to see even when he's not on the field, he's still contributing to the community. I think he's a good candidate for the Colts this year.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. What about you, Josh?
It's great, man. Didn't Kenny Moore? I think then he was nominated last year for the same thing.
Yep, Kenny Moore. Yep.
So yeah, it's great that Kenny, not Kenny, Shaq Leonard is being nominated for that award, prestigious award because it's big. He's very big in community, and now they have more of the time since he's not on the field, he can give more back to the kids, which he loves. He loves so much.
Hmm.
I think it's great, and I hope he can win it. I mean, I know there's other people around the league that are nominated as well, and are good candidates too. So it'd be interesting, and it'd be good for him to win it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the one thing that's very underrated about him is just how dedicated to the community that he is. It's he's frequently doing things in the community. He's been making sure that he's present at the schools at any and all events. I mean, and the thing is, he's doing all this while injured. So this is, honestly, it's just like it's not surprising at all because we know the type of character that he has. So
Yes.
definitely a great thing. Now, in the meantime, what's not a great thing is what just happened this past Sunday night. That was awful. And that would be the Colts playing the Cowboys. So, you know what? It let's just do this because we don't have to go over the whole entire game. We can go over that abysmal fourth quarter
Yes.
because honestly, we were 21-19 at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then we lost 54-19. So, I mean, and Austin, I'll have you start us off, Austin. What the hell happened?
Um, we were in the game until the fourth quarter. Like you said, we were down by 2. Uh, and then we just started being careless with the football. It looked like we had so many turnovers just in the fourth quarter, giving them easy touchdowns, great field position, defensive touchdowns. It was embarrassing to watch. Like, I hated watching that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Nothing about it was fun.
No, absolutely not. And Josh, I'll ask this for you because I mean, how much of what we saw can we attribute to Matt Ryan?
All of it. All of it. He was. I mean, watching him, man, like Austin said, it was terrible to watch that fourth quarter. When you saw him throw passes, because it seemed like he targeted Allen Pierce a whole lot, and he was just underthrow him, overthrow him. Just he seemed like he was out of sync. Even when he wasn't pressured, he was just like he was just. The commentator saying he was seeing ghosts probably because he was just missing on targets. And I said it, man. I said if Matt Ryan keep throwing the ball that same way, he's gonna get picked off. Where it did after he threw a pass, it was tipped, and Malik Hooker I think picked it off. I was like, oh my god, this is terrible.
Yeah, and we had Sam say the Cowboys just scored again on a Tuesday. They just keep coming amazing. Why is Josh Senior so pale and fat? Is he okay? And you know what? To that I say, for every point the Cowboys have scored, that's how many more years Sam will love Jalen Ramsey for. So right now, it looks like the Cowboys have scored twice since we've been on here, which means that they have a score of about 68-19, which means that Sam will love Jalen Ramsey for 68 more years. This is a love that will last lifetimes. Yes. Yes. And I'm only gonna flash it because this is a family podcast. Sorry, children.
Yeah, it was just terrible, man. And then after they scored, the other scored. More Cox fumble that was returned for a touchdown. So it was just like they just
Yeah.
kept scoring. So I was just happy that at the end of the game, a losing team taking a kneel. I was okay with it. I just didn't want Dallas to score again because it was embarrassing. It was just embarrassing. We went away from the run. We couldn't get any.
Yeah.
The offense was just the same. All the crossing routes, fade routes, curl, all of it was the same. And defense, their defense was ready for it. It's good
Oh
when we
yeah.
stop Parson from getting to. We stopped Parson from wrecking our offense, and
Yeah.
we still lose like
And
that.
even then, it still was just a lackluster effort based on what we saw because of the fact that you stopped Parsons, but Matt Ryan is still out there.
Yeah, we
So
didn't need Parsons to wreck it. We did it ourselves.
Yes,
yeah, it was we did it ourselves. That's I mean you got the nail on the head. So, but I mean, but at the same time, and I'm not gonna make this because the thing is, 54-19. When you see that score, especially when we started off the quarter 21-19, you're gonna say, well, they scored 33 points. That's the defense's fault. And the defense really kept us in the game for the longest time, which that the defense had zero to do with that. They spent the majority of the game on the field, specifically a majority of the fourth quarter on the field, with the turnovers. And so I'm just going to say this isn't a question. This is just a statement. Matt Ryan's done. Let's pack it in. Let's just go ahead and be honest about this right now because what we see out here from him, the throw power isn't there. The decision making is not there. At this point, it's just like he's just out there just throwing the ball to whoever he chooses, and and those people just happen to be on the other team also. So I mean, when I say Matt Ryan's done, I mean he's finished. I mean, if anybody feels differently, please tell me why. If you do feel the same, then I mean, tell me exactly like what makes you see that he's absolutely finished. Because honestly, at this point, it's just like I don't see a reason to even have him on beyond this year.
So he has like one or two good passes a game, and
Yeah.
obviously that just doesn't cut it in the NFL. He, like you said, his arm strength isn't there anymore. He throws the ball maybe 30 yards down the field like once a game, if that.
Yeah.
Uh, and like it sucks because he's had a good career. He is a good guy. He's a good family guy. And it just stinks that it has to go. He has to go out of the league like that. But he don't got it anymore, and like you said, he can't continue to be our quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, and I I'm gonna say it's like this is gonna sound controversial. It is also gonna sound kind of mean spirited, but I mean it is what it is. We need to start taking this whole he's a good guy thing out of the equation. Because the thing is, if he was a bad guy, if he was a terrible guy, not only will we not have him on the team, but 9 times out of 10, he'd probably be out the league if you're that bad of a person. The thing is, in the NFL, it's just like character goes a lot longer than talent does because we've seen a lot of talented guys who just were absolutely just maniacs when it came to them making terrible decisions off the field that didn't last that long. But the thing is, I don't want to have this whole he's a good guy thing continue to be a thing because you know I don't want I don't want how they are as a person to be a part of a discussion when we know for a fact they're not performing the way that they should. Like, sure, he's a great guy, he's a cool guy, but at the same time, it's just like that doesn't change the fact that right now he stinks. I mean, we brought him in so that he would be able to bring that veteran leadership, that so that he would be able to make those decisions, and he's been bad, and he hasn't been good for a very very long time. And I think I said this in the group. He peaked at the Super Bowl, and even then, it's just like, I it doesn't make sense to continue to go ahead and just push this rhetoric that it's just like we have to do right by him. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, he's not doing right by us, and he's getting paid millions to not do right by us. Only thing that
I
only
think
thing that
my
he's doing
problem is
good right
too.
now is securing that top 10 pick. But what you say, Josh?
So my problem is too. Not only him needing to sit his ass down. I know that I did see that Foles could finish out the year. Just don't know when. But why aren't we using Jelani Woods? Last week he had a monster game. This week it wasn't. We nowhere to be found. And you can't say, well, it was just the defense. No, that's my problem with being inconsistent. You got a guy going off like he did, and then you shut him down the very next week. Why are we doing that? And for a minute,
Yeah.
JT wasn't in the game. I was seeing Deion Jackson taking about 4 or 5 carries in a row. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so it's giving me the feel of we're not trying to win. Even if people they preach on that, yeah, we're trying to win games. We're not tanking. We're not doing this. But it's like when you take your best players out. I'm not saying John is the best player right now. He's a rookie, but he just had a hell of a game last week, and now you shut him down, and he only get a couple snaps. JT only, huh?
Sorry, I think Johnny Woods is our best tight end. But go
I
ahead.
mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, we can agree that we can agree that, we all can agree on that. But it's just the fact that he's not in
Yeah.
when we need him
Yeah.
to. I mean, he's a great asset. He's a great player. He's a big body, not receiver, but tight end. But we're not using him. I don't get that part. It's showing that we are very inconsistent. The run game, you know, I think JT had like 79 yards in the second quarter, and then we went away from it. It's like, okay, now we just back to Frank Wright offense again. We're back to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't even know, man. I know Matt Ryan sucks. I'm just calling a spade a spade. I wish it was different, but it's not. It's what we see all year for 13 weeks. It's the same thing. Inconsistency in this, turnovers. We're leading the league in every turnover category.
Every
Picks,
bad
fumbles,
category possible.
every bad category
Every bad
possible.
category
Fumbles,
possible. Yeah.
fumbles recovery, interception. It's like really we're embarrassed since he's been our leader behind the center. We've been embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's never really happened. And we in 13 weeks we already tied our total our interceptions from last year or turnovers from last year with with 5 games to go, 4 games to go. So yeah, it's time to sit down, man. Sit down. I hate it. Like Austin said, I hate it. But he's not the only he's not the only old quarterback that's going out like this. Because Aaron Rodgers is too, and Tom Brady did win yesterday, but he don't look good for the rest. He haven't looked good all year either. So I don't know. And I mean, and can't forget Russell Wilson looking bad. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the thing is there's different things with each of them, but like I said, that's a discussion for another day. I mean, we're on a bye week this week coming up, so I mean, I think we'll have all the time in the world to discuss all those extra things. But Matt Ryan's finished. We know Matt Ryan's done. So in that case, then what's next for this team? Because the thing is, nobody's going to say it, but I'll say it. Well, I mean, at this point, tanking for the rest of the season really looks like the best opportunity for us. I mean, we know we need a quarterback, and we can't keep going the veteran route because the thing is, the veteran route has proven to be decent, but it's just not there. So, what's next for this team in terms of personnel, in terms of quarterback? Like, what happens next with this team? Let's just say, assuming that we end up being 4-12-1. We'll start with you, Josh. We'll start with Josh first, then we'll go to us.
I mean, I would never, me personally, I respect y'all the decision of what y'all answer would be when y'all speak. I would never, ever, ever. I'm 36 years old, soon to be 37. Would never wish to lose every game. Yeah. I love winning. I hate losing. But whatever it is to get our future quarterback behind center, and we can move forward for the next 6 to 10 years. I'll support it. I won't be saying let's lose every game. Let's lose Sunday. Let's lose this Sunday. It's time to lose this Sunday. I won't be actively looking at other schedules, saying other teams that hey, if they lose, we'll be number 3. If we're number 4, I would never do that. I would never do that. I would watch, see what y'all are saying because hey, I'm a fan of y'all, decisions and what y'all talk about. I'm a fan of that. I just won't say, yeah, we just lost. We lost today. I won't do that. I can't. It's not in me. It's not in me. I'm a competitor, and so.
No, go ahead.
And I mean, if you're saying what's next as far as the season goes, I mean, why not with the coaching? Who will be our next coach? Who will be our next GM? Can we just saw John Robinson get fired? Will Chris Better get fired? Who will be our next coach? Who will be our next OC? What happened with the personnel? The teams? The players? Are we going to trade some players? I mean, to get cap? Are we going to release Matt Ryan with the 18 million dead space? I mean, it's a lot to look forward to going forward.
Yeah. What about you, Austin? What's next? Like, what are the next steps?
So I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm not gonna be cheering for a loss. I'm gonna try not to be upset when we lose because I expect it now. It feels like Josh said. We are not trying to win. Like against the Steelers, not using that timeout. It's kind of like, are we trying to win this game?
Yeah.
Not throwing the challenge flag on Isaiah Rogers' interception. Now, that changed the whole game. That one play right there.
I agree.
So like, are we trying to win? I don't know. What's next? I'd say if we don't get Lamar like we talked about last week, we should draft a quarterback. Obviously, we can't keep getting washed quarterbacks that do nothing for us. Hopefully, we get a new head coach, get a new GM. I hope the firing of John Robinson does make Jim Irsay realize, Titans did it. Why can't we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know who's gonna fill each role, but hopefully it's good people that deserve the role, people that we agree with, like people like D'Amico Ryans or somebody good,
Yeah.
somebody we can
Yeah.
look forward to watching.
Yeah, and and I think we talked about that before. I think there's bonuses to going with a defensive coach. There's bonuses to go with the offensive coach. I think me personally, I'm very very big on going with an offensive minded coach, especially since we're going to have a rookie QB coming in, because I'm gonna say look how much Mike McDaniel coming from San Fran did for Tua, and
Yeah,
having that
I agree.
direction, and then being able to have something like that, like when you have those people. But then if you look at let's just say like a Robert Saleh is doing fantastic things with that defense, but the thing is, their bread and butter in terms of the offense kind of is on both on the offense and defense. But at the same time, it's just like Zach Wilson isn't panning out. But in this draft, I think we're going to see that there's a few different options at quarterback. I mean, honestly, once again, I think Ben Johnson paired with, paired with a CJ Stroud, or paired with a Will Levis, or even a Hendon Hooker, I think honestly will be able to go a long way, because of the fact that, like I said, having an offensive minded coach, and mind you, Ben Johnson is not getting the looks that he's getting this year. But the thing is, this is a Lions team that I believe is up to about what, 5-7 or five. I think 5-7. They're at 5-7 right now, and they're scoring on average 30 points a game. And this is
Yeah,
from
it's
a
a lot.
Lions team that has Jared Goff at quarterback. So I mean, that alone is enough to sell me. And then on top of that, that means that you're going to have a dedicated defensive coordinator who's going to be able to go into the game and see exactly what it is. And the thing is, this defense was the number one team in turnover differential. We're not turning over the ball nearly as much this year. But I'm willing to bet money that if you go ahead and you hire in the right person, that defensive coordinator, there's two things that are guaranteed. We're going to be back up when it comes to turnover differential, and we're not going to have to worry about Brandon Facetious trash ass, because he's not good. He's just not good. I pointed out every single time. And Darius said, "What's good, fellas? What's going on, Darius?"
It's good, man.
So,
And Matthew Briggs said Ballard just got extended for 10 more years, and Ryan signed for 5. Okay, cool. And Lovey was extended for another 4 years, and I heard that Bill O'Brien is in talks to be head of player personnel. So
And Pep
there you
Pep
go.
Hamilton resigning too.
Pep Hamilton's resigned for 20 years. He's
And,
gonna die a Texan.
and Davis Mills is announced the starter with the captain on his shirt.
Listen, it's all fun and games until the Texans draft Will Anderson with the number 1 pick in the draft. Okay, so book it, Dano. But either way, so I mean, when we're talking about like what this team is going to have to offer next season, you're going to have more cap space. You're already going to have a nucleus. We have our receivers. I mean, Paris Campbell will probably be able to come back on either a prove it deal or a cheap deal. Okay, fantastic. We have JT. You get a quarterback and then you get somebody offensive minded. Guess what? Now you know for a fact that you're going to be able to have something to work off of. So I think it's just like this team is trending up. And also, let me just go ahead because I think some things kind of get misconstrued. I'm not rooting for us to lose. I am just okay if for some reason we do. The thing is, every week is a win-win for us. If we win a game, fantastic. Great for morale, great for the guys. It's awesome. If we lose, we're one step closer to getting the quarterback that we need to make sure that we do what we need to do. And then on top of that, you have money to boot, which means that you can potentially go ahead and address the two big issues that you see on the field right now, which are offensive line and quarterback. Screw that edge rusher stuff. Screw the edge rusher stuff. I don't want to hear anything about another edge rusher because we literally address edge rusher
We've done
every
that
season.
every year. Yeah, we've done it
We
every year.
get no better. Like honestly, even since the last year Luck has played, that we drafted two edge rushers then. We've drafted edge rushers in the draft after that, after that, after that. And now in this offseason, we got Yannick. Fantastic. Yannick right now is at 8.5 sacks on the year. Fantastic. But we do not need to go after an edge rusher early in the draft or in free agency. Period.
We need a scheme. That's what we need.
Yeah, and the thing is with this defense can play in just about any scheme, whether it's man or zone, as long as you have Isaiah Rodgers in, which Isaiah Rodgers has played fantastic this season when he's had the opportunity to play. He's been able to actually do work with Devontae Adams. We saw what he was able to do with CeeDee Lamb. We saw exactly what he's able to do in the run game with his tackling and how he's able to have that awareness. You're getting these things from him that you expect from Facetson, and Facetson is not doing it. So out of here with that Facetson stuff. Get Isaiah Rodgers in the starting line. Let's just get past that. All right.
But then done now.
Yeah, exactly. Now the thing is, next week we are on a bye week, so that means that it's just like there's not going to be an analysis. But quick question: what should Jeff Saturday do to remedy the offense, at least to make it look somewhat salvageable for the rest of the season?
I think bench Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Play Nick Foles. Play Sam. Whoever they feel is the right man for the job. Don't be so predictable. Don't run the ball every first down. Change it up a little bit. Just get a little tricky. What do you got to lose?
Yeah. This is all true. Yeah. Yeah. And then what about you, Josh? Because I know that you said you agree, but it's just like what can be done to make this.
I mean, my bad, cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good.
What are we? I said it Sunday. What are we playing for? We're playing for nothing other than if we're playing for draft picks, cool. But go out if like Joe Saturday said, he's just auditioning. After the season, he get interviewed for the coaching job. Then. But if he's auditioning for 8 games, why not give everybody your best shot? Whether you win or lose, give everybody your best shot. Bring out bring out every gadget trick you got in offense. You may have to have JT running Wildcat. Try everything. Try to Philly special. Try every goddamn thing you can just to make your offense look good. If you want that job, if you're just saying fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just here. They telling me to do this here and it's scripted. Then okay, I understand it. Then you're only doing what Babbitt tell you to do. Stick to the plan. You got 4 more games, and it'll be over. Then do that. But if the objective is to win, try pay to win, then give out. The Lions is not trying to win, but the Lions just look good putting up points.
Well, the Lions actually, I think the Lions are trying to win because their pick that they got from the Rams for this year is actually looking like it's going to be a top 5 pick. So the thing is for the Lions can actually go and do really well. And this is one of my scenarios. I'm sorry. And I have to put on my tinfoil conspiracy theory hat on. So if the Lions actually end up doing well, that bodes better for what we're looking for when it comes to our draft spot, right? Because the thing is, if Jared Goff does better, let's just say the Lions end up over 500 somehow this season. Now, mind you, they're probably not going to be able to catch the Vikings. But the thing is, if they end up at 9-8, that's a good case for Jared Goff to be kept on, possibly be extended because he has one more year. So if Jared Goff continues to do good, the Lions don't take a quarterback with that first pick. The Lions then go and focus on defense, which means that if the Rams continue to do bad, that starts to become a pick for a defensive player rather than possibly being for a quarterback. So then if you do that, that means that you take the Rams out the fold and they're a top 5 team. Now, that means that you have the Texans who absolutely are probably going to pick a quarterback. But that means that you have the Texans, then you have the Bears, not quarterback. And I think who else do they have?
Seattle.
Or Seattle. Geno Smith is doing well, so that means that you could potentially skip the quarterback talk on them.
I doubt that. I doubt they skip it. I doubt they skip it though. Even though he's doing good, I doubt that they look over and say, "Hey, Geno's our guy." I mean, I get it, but I doubt they say, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna go with Geno. We're gonna roll with Geno for another year or two, and skip on getting a quarterback." It's possible. You never know, but I doubt it. With the quarterback, we got about 6 quarterbacks in this draft. I doubt that they look over one. Because I don't know. Unless they're looking at Caleb Williams next year, then you may be right.
So, yeah, because the thing is, right now, Seattle has Denver's pick. That's the only reason why that is the way that it is, because Denver is 3-9 right now. But I mean, you have Houston, Chicago, Seattle, Detroit, Philly, Carolina, Jacksonville, Arizona, and then us. So out of all those, Chicago or Houston, possibly Seattle, possibly Detroit, Carolina, those are the only teams that will potentially go quarterback.
I think
Carolina has Matt Corral.
Yeah.
Okay, they have Matt Corral. Okay. Oh yeah,
but they
okay.
might still go quarterback. Don't know.
Yeah, so the thing is, once again, you just have things that you're going to have to look to in order for it to end up being a pick. Now, mind you, this is the reason why I say I'm not actively rooting for us to lose games. But let's just say we don't win another game this season. It sounds awful to say right now, but you don't end up winning another game this season. I think every single one of those teams can potentially win 1, maybe 2 games. Which means that the only other team that we're going to be looking at being ahead of us could potentially be the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I mean, right now the Bears are. There's a guy that I follow on TikTok, completely weird, but this guy I follow on TikTok, he's a Bears fan. The Bears not only will have the number 2 pick, but they'll have $100 million in cap space.
Oh my God,
so
that's a lot.
When I say that, if they do believe that there's going to be some things that they have to fix, they'll be able to fix them in free agency before the draft, which means that pick could potentially come them trading down to then look at, some other options. Because if you're not drafting quarterback, there's a bunch of guys who will probably end up coming out that are going to be absolutely phenomenal. But, I think, and you can mark my words now, I can see CJ Stroud potentially being an option for us.
If Houston grabs Bryce, which it sounds like it, and if you said it's Chicago at number 2, they probably get Will Anderson. No way they'll pass up on him. And then if we're at up there at the top echelon, then yeah, CJ could come to us.
Yeah, and then another thing about the Bears is Eberflus is there.
Yeah,
having a former Colts coordinator there, possibly, because the thing is, if Ballard is still on, I think it's just like having that relationship with him because Ballard was one of the people who was there from the original regime back before Trash Josh McDaniels was there, or back when Josh McDaniels hired everybody and then decided not to go with it. I think we can leverage that relationship with Eberflus to be able to go ahead and just move up. But like
That's
I
a
said, this
possibility.
this is all conspiracy theory hat stuff. Okay, that's what that is. All right, so that's what we're looking at in regards to that. I know I went off on a tangent there, but it
You got
is what it
excited, man.
is.
It's okay.
Exactly. See, in my excitement, there we go. And so we have a couple more comments. Josh using his J Rob face.
Oh, my bad.
And then they said, facts, EJ, and Jeff got to bench Matt Ryan. They said, I want to see him stop the turnovers if one thing to lose, but we've been giving games away all year. It's the Oprah show every other damn week. Gotcha. I see what you did there. I see what you did there immediately. All right. And then Ricky Fuqua Jr. says, Josh Allen, keep my name out of your mouth. Josh, would you like to say hi to Ricky? Okay, guess not. All right. So with that being said, Ricky, I hope your evening's going well.
I hope your evening is blocked.
I hope that you are not affected too deeply by J Rob being fired. And by the way, Austin Stanley from A to Z Sports Nashville, he said something interesting today that I want to make sure we don't skip over. He said that the only person who seems like they'll probably be safe in the offseason is going to be Jeffrey Simmons.
Oh,
Do
before
with
I get
that.
off, because I hate to do this, but it seemed like our good buddy from the Titans Coliseum has had a complete meltdown. So I want to shout out to him. I hope everything is okay with them. He wants everybody traded and gone and starting all over. But I'm not gonna mention his name. But tune in tomorrow or Thursday.
Yeah, do they remember that before they had Derrick Henry? They had Deion Lewis, who was decent, but before Derrick Henry, it was Bishop Sankey.
Oh, he sucked.
Now I know that people don't necessarily remember Bishop Sankey, but I do. So if you're gonna go into your Bishop Sankey's purgatory, by all means, have fun. But in the meantime, it was great. Like I said, we have a bye week. The bye week. I hope the bye week wins, and we move up, because that's what I'm hoping for right now. But in the meantime, guys, we are going to roll up out of here. And in the meantime, tell the people where to find you guys. Austin, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you
On
can
social
find me
media,
on
of course.
on Twitter at Cookie Austin 2.
All right. How about you, Josue?
You'll find me crying because I lost my job like John did.
You said because you what?
I lost my job like John Robinson did. But on social media, you can find me at I am Josh Senior on Twitter.
All right. And then you can find me at CJ Colts fan. Make sure that you're following all the pages at YDKJAC podcast, at YDK basketball, and at YDKJAC baseball, where we'll be able to talk about how bad the Yankees are going to be if Aaron Judge does leave for San Francisco. And then also talk about the fact that the Lakers right now, they're looking
Looking
better.
good. Yes.
No. Don't
AD.
say good. Don't say good. Say better. Because that
Good.
trash that they put out in the beginning of the season just looks a lot less trashy.
Are you having second dollars going back to the Kings?
No, I am not. I'm not.
Well, if you're not going back to the Kings, I'm not going back to the Yankees.
Okay. No. Oh no. See, look, you see, I can't even fake being hurt about that one. Can't even fake it. Like, don't even try it. All right. But then in the meantime, people, have a great week. We will talk to you next week. Like I said, next week is a bye, but we're gonna have some stuff to discuss. Like we'll be able to laugh at the tears of Titans fans continuing to try to convince us that firing John Robinson was a good thing. The same way they tried to convince us that trading AJ Brown wasn't going to affect the team, but that's neither here nor there. But in the meantime, guys, have a great week. We will see you next week. And remember, guys, Sam loves Jalen